So what's happening, everybody? Let's fix this a little bit here. Get a lined up view. I always think this thing is off for some reason. You won't be able to see this. Maybe we can. I don't know. Anyway, so here I am at Taco Bell. It's been probably, I don't know. Well, there was that one morning I got Taco Bell for my wife not too long ago, but I only got a soft taco. I haven't been in the mood for Taco Bell in quite a while, and so here I am. It's, you know, noon, so it's lunch hour traffic, and it's kind of busy here. I don't know why, but so anyway, I'm just well, that's interesting. Bonneville GXP, cool. So let's go over some questions while I'm sitting here waiting to order. They're being really slow today, I can tell, unless somebody's ordered a really complex meal. But anyway, somebody had actually a couple people had made a comment about the my gas gauge, saying that, you know, when they follow along in my videos. Hang on just a second. This guy here is really awesome. If you ever get to the Alchemist Taco Bell, midday, mid-morning, and early in the afternoon, this guy is so friendly and awesome. It actually makes me fill out the surveys that Taco Bell does quite often. It's funny, but this guy is just naturally nice, and I'll get him on. I'll try to keep his face off the camera, because I don't think he'd like to be on. Maybe he won't care, but I'll try to block his face. But just listen to him when he's talking. He's just so awesome. Let's see if I can use up some quarters here.
Well, good afternoon.
Hey, man. I don't know if I can quite make it. Not too bad. Hey, can I use up a couple bucks in quarters with that? Oh, that's awesome. So here's the 2 and quarters.
Gotcha.
And then we'll put on the card for the rest. How's that sound?
That'll work. Okay. Okay, give me the card.
Sure.
Because I can't open the door.
Oh, that's fine.
Afterwards.
Just keep collecting quarters, and I figured I'd get rid of them now. Just like pennies, but I don't want to give you 100 pennies.
I just took a boatload of them the other day.
I'm sure you get some.
Okay, there it is.
I'm sure you get some weird.
Oh no! The other day, it was like $10 small change. Right, my big boss, one of my, like, he's like regional or something. He comes up, hurry up! I wish he would have been on the drive-through line that day.
Really?
Because I would have been going, okay, you want to play that game? I'd be like, because I just did it the other day because they were telling me to hurry up, and so, like, you're blocking my window. I told him, hurry up, man, you're blocking my window. You have a great one there.
Yeah, you too, man. Take it easy.
I was telling the people out in the line that.
So yeah, that guy's super nice. I mean, you can probably hear him back there. I don't know if you can or not. Oh shit. I feel horrible for the guy right behind me. He forgot his wallet. That sucks. You get all the way up to the window. You're locked in with cars, plus and minus, you know, front and back. I'm in front. There was a Buick behind him. You're locked in, and you got nowhere to go. You don't have your wallet on you, and suddenly you have to sit here and wait for this line to roll through. And I remember I've done that before, where I've gotten all the way to the window after ordering, not realizing that I forgot my card. And you feel bad. I mean, I feel awful about that. because they've cooked the food up, they've got your drink ready, it's sitting there, and then okay, well, whoops. I mean, you know, I have learned to check my wallet. I'll actually check. I'll look before I even get up to the drive-thru. You guys probably saw me pull out my wallet. Actually, I pulled it out before I even started going to the drive-thru because I had to get gas. But normally, before I even get to the drive-thru, I check. Okay, is my wallet here, or my card in my wallet? I feel naked without my wallet. I know when it's there, and I'm always, you know, tapping it or whatever just to make sure it's there. And so my wife actually takes my card on occasion. She'll buy something or whatever. We'll need something for the kids, and most of the time she forgets to put it back. And I've learned over the years to check my wallet even before I walk out the door. I will check to make sure the card is there, just because there's lots of occasions where it's been lost.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank
Good.
you. Thank you so much for your patience.
Yep.
There's your medium for your Pepsi.
Yep.
And here's your good tobacco box for the soft drink.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I hope you enjoy your meal. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. So I'll eat this when I get to my wife's work. But yeah, so getting all the way up there and realizing that she forgot your wallet after you've ordered, and when you're at the window, and then, you know, other people are, you know, they're probably not going to notice, but you pull up to the window and suddenly well, they didn't pay and they didn't get any food and they took off, so something must have happened. So you can always tell when that happens. And it's kind of funny. Oh, an SSR. Wow. You know, as funny as those cars are, those SSRs, you can probably see it on the 360. Those cars are really cool. They didn't sell that many of them because they were expensive. I mean, $50,000 back then. But those things are really cool. Not a lot of people bought them. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, so I have forgotten my card, gotten all the way up to the window, been like, shit. And it's so frustrating because you're all hungry, you're ready to eat, you're all looking forward to whatever you're getting, and then suddenly it's like, oh no. The embarrassment of forgetting your card, or card declined. You know, that has actually happened to me before, as well as forgetting my card in my wallet. Where my credit union I've had for quite a long time, their system actually went down, and it would come up as declined. And I was actually getting my oil changed. I was at the oil change place. This is before I did my own oil changes. I was at the oil change place, and they did, you know, the full oil change. And why is this guy here riding their brakes? I know their brake light isn't stuck because it was off. Now it's back on. They literally have their foot on the brake just enough for the brake lights to come on. Some people are so stupid. Riding the brakes. How dumb is that? My grandpa used to drive similarly. He would have one foot on the brake. His left foot would be on the brake at all times. And then he would have his other foot on the gas. And, you know, my dad taught me right away. See, now that my dad taught me right away, don't do that. Because you will inherently develop a habit of riding the brakes. You may not feel it, but it will happen. And the people behind you will be pissed because your brake lights will be on all the time. But anyways, so, man, I'm losing my mind here because I'm not keeping track of what I'm talking about. Oh, the oil change. So I got through the whole spiel, them doing the oil and everything, and it came to the total, it was like $80. So I did a couple other things. Wake the fuck up. Oh my God. Which lane are you taking? the whole spiel of getting the oil change, and then, okay, that'll be 70, 80 bucks, whatever it was, because I was used full synthetic. Oh, okay, I get it. So this asshole behind me, you can probably see, is going to go ahead and keep up with me, even though I'm doing 10 over the speed limit. Feel like an asshole, do you? Whatever. Anyways, so you've already had the service done. You go to pay. You get the card, and it says, and the guy comes back. He says, "Well, this card was declined, and it's been reported that it needs to be confiscated." And I'm just like, "What? Confiscated?" And he says, "Yeah, it's coming up on my machine to take the card." Damn, that was loud. And I said, "Well, what, do you know what the reason is?" And he said, "No, it just has. It comes up with this code, and we know the codes, and that's what it's saying, to take the card." Of course, I freaked out. I said, "Look, there's nothing wrong with the card. Here's my ID. Here's the card." And he said, "Okay, well, I believe you. Something's wrong with the system, but it's not letting me pull the funds." And I said, "Well, my bank is right down the street, so let me drive down there. You know, you can see I've been a customer for how long. I've got a history. You got my address. You got everything, so I'm not going to steal the oil change." And I said, "Let me drive down to the bank and find out what's going on." So I drove down to the credit union. Drove down to the credit union and walked in and said, "Hey, look, I just tried to down the street, got an oil change. It says it's declined and that they need to keep the card." And she looks at the system and she says, "Well, I don't show any problems like that. What's going on with that?" I said, "I have no idea." She said, "Okay, give me your card." So I give her the card. She swipes through some kind of a test transaction, whatever it is, and sure enough, it comes back, card stolen. And well, so I said, "I never reported the card stolen. Here's the card. I've never lost it. What's the deal?" She said, "Well, we don't really know. It was reported stolen on such and such a date, and so that's why you're getting this message. But I went ahead and cleared it, so you can go back and pay." And so that was the worst that I've ever experienced as far as not having your card on you or something like that. Now, I will tell you, I've had my early 20s, I got very irresponsible with money. And I'll freely admit it, that I got irresponsible with money. I started getting credit cards. I was actually engaged to be married and paid for a lot of things on that couple of credit cards that I got. I paid for a wedding dress deposit, reception deposit, a lot of the stuff for the wedding. And, you know, things didn't work out, but I had all this debt that I had worked up, and I thought, you know, I can always pay it back whenever. And I never did put my mind into paying it back. And eventually, it got to the point where I could not pay anything. I mean, I was literally working to pay my main bills, like rent and so on, and I was living alone at the time. I didn't have anybody there to help me with bills, and it was horrible. I went through that credit, whatever they call that. It's like a counseling service, but they bring your debts down to one payment. They negotiate with credit card companies and so on. The name, the word is eluding me right now. Consolidation. It was a debt consolidation program, and they, it took me, man, did it take me a while. It took me about 4 years to pay all those off, and I still had some that I could not get paid off. And, you know, I don't mind sharing the fact that I had to go to court for some of this stuff. There were judgments. It's something that I hope none of you, any of you who are young right now, I hope none of you have to deal with that. Even though right now I'm free and in the clear, and that stuff is no longer on my credit report. Back then, it was hard to get anything. Just having one public record on my credit report was enough for everybody to just basically say no, or we're going to charge you 30% APR. And it wasn't until I got my 04 Grand Prix that I finally was able to get back up into the credit numbers that I needed, because I wasn't able to acquire new credit. So what, 6 years, 7 years ago, you know, I would have been in my late 20s. I was still paying for that on my credit report. It wasn't as if I owed. It was just that it was there, that it was a public record, and that's it. And you know, it was very hard. I mean, I had to go through one of those shitty loan companies for my Grand Prix to start out. I paid it off early because I knew that I was going to be able to pay it off, but I ended up paying it off early. And you know, even though that helped my credit a little bit, that's what it took for me to get reestablished and to start getting credit cards again. And some of you are going to say, oh, stay away from the credit cards. But I wanted to get my credit back up, and that was a lot of work. So I hope all of you out there take a lesson in that you don't want to deal with that kind of crap. You just don't. So I don't even know how I got on this topic, honestly. But anyway, that's a nice charger. I like this Mercedes up here too. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't even know how I got on this topic, but originally I was going to be talking about my gas gauge all the way back when I was at Taco Bell. So it's been 20 minutes I've been recording. Anyway, so gas gauge, yes, I know that I keep my gas lower than it should be. You know, it comes down to basically every other week I've got enough money to fill it up, and beyond that I don't. So I don't fill it all the way up. That Mercedes sounds pretty good, but so I don't really know how to answer that question other than no, I don't always keep a full tank. And yes, I know that on some of my videos it looks like, oh, you're always riding around on $2 worth of gas. No, that's not the case. These long videos that I record here are when I actually have to drive to the daycare to pick up my kids. So I have more to talk about. Otherwise, I usually don't do any talking. And this is payday for me on Wednesday, so it's at the very end of the week for me as far as pay week goes. So that's why I'm always down to a little bit, because I try to manage my gas to where I'm not putting in too much. Yes, it'll last longer, but I try to, you know, every other Wednesday I try to fill up to full, and you know, that's how it works. So, but you know, basically, yeah, quite honest, I'd rather have a full tank all the time, but my dad always taught me that as long as you keep between a quarter of a tank and a half a tank, you're okay, which I know I have less than that, but it won't be strain on the fuel pump, and it won't be carrying around all that extra weight. And since I don't plan on traveling, if I was on the highway going out of state or something, I would definitely fill up. More conscious about that. So anyways,